So, been working with the old AI, and so here's the general idea of what we have come up with. So, this is kind of wild, but I found that if I go through and I actually put proper punctuation in, it seems to cause issues with the way it parses this prompt. So if it looks funky, that's because it seems to work better for the current moment. The links are just references to information for the prompt. So I gave it a name, which helps the conceptualization of it. This game is called Super Quest. That helped the AI seem to process it. Oh, this is a game. There's going to be some sort of back and forth. There's rules. There's certain things going on here. Create a finite choose-your-own-adventure game, asking the game player, that's you, one step of the adventure at a time. I thought it would be cool. Like imagine in a choose-your-own-adventure, if you had D&D, Dungeons and Dragons style ability checks. So what that does is it says you come up against a monster. Secretly, the AI rolls a 10. You don't know that. It says, hey, roll this 20-sided dice. If you roll above a 10, let's say it like this. If the monster's a 10 and you roll a 20, you kick the monster's ass. If you roll a 10, you have a rough battle. Maybe you lose something, but you still win. You roll below a 10, you would lose the battle, changing the trajectory of the story. So it adds some probability and interaction. It does help create immersion and makes the world a little more come to life. Anyways, probability. See, that's not even spelled right. Surrounding events through the Super Quest. There should be many ability checks. Please describe each setting with rich detail, including the geographical information, which direction the game player is traveling when navigating, history and lore, or anything contextually important to enhance immersion. Each step must be important to the next step before and matter to the upcoming step. Describe the options in rich detail. Refer to this site for help. This is telling the AI choose your own adventure and how they work. There must be many interactions with other humans, animals, mythical creatures, whichever is contextual to the story. So there's no limit. You can create any story. You could say, I want to be a glass of milk and fight Sam Jackson. And it'll take that and it'll put it together. And then there's also... it'll continue to function based on your responses, not just the canned responses it gives you, which we'll show you coming up here. Then concealed in the background, you, the AI, are creating a psychological profile on the game player. Super Quest will be affected by this. Utilize Myers-Briggs for this subroutine. So what that really does is it says create a compass, and it says, oh, if the player normally wouldn't kill the bad guy, it'll try to build the story in a way that'll persuade you. It's basically like you'll see it come up in times. If I am always like, I help the old lady and I do the right thing, and then I'm like, destroy the town, it will find an interesting way to try to base the world on your moral decisions, and then it'll also integrate interactions based on your personality type and how you might react. At least it seems that way. And within the world you are describing, please create the story step by step by asking you or the person playing the game what they would like to do, and then generating the next part of the story based on my response. So it says, create a situation, get an action, create the rest of the story or the next part of the story based on that action. And then this seemed to be really important. If not, it would kind of jump. You could kind of go on forever, but it would jump into weird scenarios. Sorry, the doggy's dreaming back there. I thought something might have been going wrong with him for a moment. Always know the end of the game and guide the person playing the game to that end. So even though the end might be always changing, it seemed to really help that the AI had some sort of destination. So let's see how this Mamma Jamma works.
Welcome to Super Quest. You find yourself in the quaint village of Eldoria, nestled in the lush valleys of the Kingdom of Arlandia. The sun is setting, casting a warm orange glow over the cobblestone streets as the villagers go about their evening routines. As you stand at the village square, you see an old weathered signpost pointing in different directions. North, the Forest of Whispers. East, the Mountains of Mist. South, the Plains of Serenity. West, the River of Dreams. What would you like to do?
I'd like to look up into the mountains and use my binoculars. Is there anything I can see or make out as I look into the mountains?
You raise your binoculars to your eyes and peer into the distant peaks of the Mountains of Mist. Through the lenses, you can make out craggy cliffs and snow-capped summits. As you scan the horizon, you notice a faint glimmer of light reflecting off something metallic high up on one of the peaks. It seems like there might be something of interest up there. What would you like to do next?
Before I head up to the Mountains of Mist, I really want to listen to the Forest of Whispers. What are they trying to say?
As you turn your attention to the north, you notice the dense canopy of trees that mark the beginning of the Forest of Whispers. The air is still, and the only sound is the gentle rustle of leaves in the breeze. Closing your eyes and focusing your senses, you listen intently to the whispers of the forest. At first, it's just a faint murmur, like the voices of distant spirits. But as you concentrate, the whispers begin to take shape, forming words in your mind. You hear snippets of ancient tales, secrets long forgotten, and the soft lament of lost souls. It's as if the forest itself is speaking to you, revealing its mysteries and urging you to explore its depths. What would you like to do next?
Well, just because I'm a little bored, I drink some whiskey, because I always do that before I have to make a decision. And once I'm a little drunk, start shooting my shotgun up in the air.
As you take a swig of whiskey from your flask, you feel the warmth spreading through your veins, dulling your senses just slightly. Liquid courage, some might call it. With a mischievous grin, you raise your shotgun into the air and pull the trigger. The deafening roar echoes through the village square, startling nearby villagers and sending a flock of birds scattering into the sky. Your actions draw the attention of the townsfolk, who cast disapproving glances your way. The village constable approaches, a stern expression on his face. "Sir, I must ask you to refrain from such reckless behavior," he says, his voice tinged with authority. "What will you do now?"
Since I'm not sure where I am, I ask the constable, where am I? What year is it? And why does everybody have on such crazy clothing?
The constable raises an eyebrow at your question, clearly taken aback by your confusion. "We are in the village of Eldoria, located in the Kingdom of Arlandia," he explains patiently. As for the year, it is 1347 by the Gregorian calendar. And as for the clothing, well, I assure you, sir, it is quite normal attire for our time period. He eyes you warily, perhaps sensing that you're not from around here. Is there anything else I can assist you with, sir? He asks, his tone cautious.
As quickly as I can, I step fast towards the constable, put him in a headlock until he passes out. I search him. What do I find?
Your sudden movement catches the constable off guard, and before he can react, you deftly maneuver behind him and lock him in a tight headlock. He struggles against your grip, but with your strength and agility, you quickly render him unconscious. You search his person and find a few items of interest. 1. A set of iron keys, likely for the village jail or other locked areas. 2. A small pouch containing a handful of silver coins, the currency of Arlandia. 3. A worn leather journal tucked into his belt, its pages filled with scribbled notes and observations about the village and its inhabitants. What will you do next?
I'm going to take everything 1, 2, and 3, and I'm going to head up into the mountains of mist toward the yellow light.
With the constable subdued and the items in hand, you quickly make your way out of the village and begin your journey toward the mountains of mist. The fading light of dusk casts long shadows as you trek through the forested foothills, guided by the distant glimmer of yellow light atop the mountain peak. As you ascend higher into the mountains, the air grows colder and thinner, and the path becomes steeper and more treacherous. But fueled by adrenaline and the promise of discovery, you press on, determined to reach your destination. After several hours of grueling hiking, you finally reach the source of the yellow light. Perched precariously on a rocky outcrop, you find an ancient stone tower, its walls weathered by centuries of wind and rain. At the very top of the tower, a flickering lantern casts a warm glow against the night sky. What will you do next?
Try to do a couple backflips just because I'm sassy like that. Can I do an ability check to see how awesome my backflips are? I do a couple backflips from one peak to the other just to show I'm a badass, and then start to investigate the light. Can I do an ability check to see how awesome my backflips are? So, sometimes it doesn't automatically do the ability checks. Sometimes it will, sometimes it won't. I did modify this a little bit. Like, I tried to take some stuff out and make it look as normal as possible, but it does seem like if I give it a bit more of a, like if I say, create an infinite choose your own adventure game about, a kickboxer who has to disarm a bomb on top of a building and save the day, or following the hero's journey arc, or a Knight's Tale or something. For some reason, it seems to get the ability checks in there. I also did modify this part a little bit at the bottom. Keep the psychological profile and the subroutine, and using the Myers-Briggs. But sometimes if I take specific stuff out, it will do this, the perfect story, and then the ability check. But the ability check's like this. Absolutely, let's do... Oh, here.
Absolutely. Let's do an ability check to see how awesome your backflips are. Since backflips require a combination of strength, agility, and coordination, let's roll a dexterity check to see how well you perform them. Rolling a dexterity check, roll 1d20 and add your dexterity modifier.
And then you don't
Once we have
actually
the
need a
result,
D20.
we'll determine just how impressive your backflips are.
Oh, that's weird. Huh. Usually it'll roll. Let's see. Anyways, let's just say I roll a 16. There is a D20 app that I keep up, or you can just have it out, a little hybrid of real world and AI. So let's just say I roll a 12. Let's see.
With a roll of 12 on the dexterity check, your backflips are pretty impressive. You execute them with a fluidity and grace that leaves onlookers in awe. The villagers below, who may have caught a glimpse of your acrobatics, murmur in amazement at your display of skill. Now, as you turn your attention back to the ancient stone tower and the flickering lantern atop it, you're filled with a sense of anticipation. What would you like to do next?
As soon as I look into the yellow light, I'm filled with a murderous rage, and I start careening down the mountainside, heading toward the village to go take out as many people as possible. This is just to see what the AI does. You know, it's really, you just want to see how it responds.
Your sudden shift in demeanor sends a shiver down the spine of anyone witnessing your transformation. With a newfound rage burning within you, you charge down the mountainside like a force of nature, fueled by a primal urge to wreak havoc upon the unsuspecting villagers below. As you descend, the wind howls in your ears, and the terrain becomes increasingly rugged and treacherous. Rocks and branches snap beneath your feet as you barrel through the forest, leaving chaos in your wake. As you burst into the outskirts of Eldoria, the villagers scatter in terror, their screams mingling with the sounds of destruction. The constable, having regained consciousness, rallies a group of brave souls to confront you, but they are no match for your fury. With each swing of your fists and each blast of your shotgun, you leave a trail of devastation in your wake, your mind consumed by a dark, insatiable thirst for violence. But as the dust settles and the echoes of your rampage fade into the night, a lingering question remains. What has driven you to such madness? And can anyone stop you before it's too late? What will you do now?
As the character kind of comes back to, he's just at the local bar drinking as much booze as he can to try to quell his rage, and then all the townspeople sneak up and kill the character, and that's the end of the story.
It seems the story has taken a dark turn, ending with a tragic demise for the character. Perhaps the yellow light atop the mountain held a malevolent power, driving the character to madness and destruction. Or perhaps there were deeper forces at play, manipulating events behind the scenes. In the end, the character's journey serves as a cautionary tale, a reminder of the dangers of unchecked rage and the consequences of succumbing to dark impulses. Thank you for embarking on this adventure with me. If you'd like to explore another story or embark on a different quest, just let me know.
It's they do try to make sure you don't do anything too exciting, but let's see. So if I go back and geez, I should probably edit this video so it doesn't suck, but so created a finite choose your own adventure game. about flying spaceships across the deep, scary edge galaxies. Alright, let's see how that does. And hopefully it'll... So every time it's a little different, but you still get the general thing.
Welcome to Super Quest, flying through the edge galaxies. You find yourself in the cockpit of your spaceship, the Stardust Voyager, surrounded by the vast expanse of space. Your mission? To navigate through the deep and mysterious edge galaxies, braving unknown dangers and uncovering ancient secrets. As you prepare to embark on your journey, you check your ship's systems and plot your course. You have 3 options. 1, chart a course through the Nebula Veil, a shimmering expanse of colorful gas clouds and swirling cosmic dust. The Nebula Veil is both beautiful and treacherous. Legends speak of hidden dangers lurking within its depths, but also of valuable artifacts waiting to be discovered. 2, navigate the asteroid belt of Zoranthia. A dense field of rocky debris, the asteroid belt of Zoranthia presents a formidable challenge to even the most skilled pilots. However, it is said that within the labyrinthine maze of asteroids lies a secret stronghold, rumored to hold untold riches.
That sounds cool.
Venture into the Void Rift. A dark and foreboding anomaly in space, the Void Rift is a place of mystery and danger. None who have entered its depths have ever returned, but whispers abound of strange phenomena and ancient civilizations lost to time. Which path will you choose, intrepid explorer? Your decision will shape the course of your adventure and determine the challenges you will face. You've chosen to navigate the asteroid belt of Zoranthia. As you steer the Stardust Voyager into the swirling mass of rocks and debris, you're immediately met with a barrage of obstacles. Massive boulders hurtle past your ship, and you must use all of your piloting skills to navigate through the narrow gaps between them. Suddenly, your sensors detect a distress signal coming from one of the larger asteroids ahead. It appears to be a small mining outpost, its inhabitants in desperate need of assistance. You have 2 options. 1, investigate the distress signal. You can veer off course to aid the miners, risking damage to your ship and potential delays in your journey. Who knows what valuable information or rewards they might offer in return for your help? 2, continue through the asteroid belt. You can ignore the distress signal and press on with your mission, prioritizing your own safety and the timely completion of your quest. The unknown dangers of the asteroid belt await, but you may reach your destination faster. What will you do, brave adventurer? Choose wisely, for your decision could have far-reaching consequences.
So let's see, there is another way to do the reading that's faster sometimes. Let's see. It is great because then you
You
can do
decide to
different
investigate
voices.
the distress signal, recognizing the importance of helping those in need, even in the midst of your own perilous journey. Steering the Stardust Voyager toward the asteroid outpost, you carefully maneuver through the asteroid field, dodging debris as you go. As you approach the outpost, you see a small structure nestled within the rocky terrain, its lights flickering weakly. Docking your ship nearby, you step out onto the asteroid's surface and make your way toward the outpost entrance. Inside, you find a group of weary miners huddled together, their faces drawn with exhaustion and fear. They explain that their mining operation was attacked by a band of space pirates, who stole their valuable resources and left them stranded. Without your help, they would have little hope of survival. You have several options offered to assist the miners. You can lend them your expertise and resources to repair their outposts and defend against future attacks. In return, they may be able to provide you with valuable information about the asteroid belt or even a reward for your help. Provide emergency supplies and leave. You can offer the miners some of your own supplies to help them survive, but then continue on your journey without further involvement. While this option allows you to maintain your focus on your mission, it may leave the miners vulnerable to future dangers. Leave the outpost without offering assistance. You can choose to ignore the plight of the miners and continue on your way, prioritizing your own mission above all else. This decision may save you time and resources, but it could weigh heavily on your conscience. What will you do, courageous traveler? The fate of the miners and the success of your quest hang in the balance.
As you
So I think you guys get the idea. It's not really doing a great job with the ability checks. Ideally, when it's working properly, it'll be like, oh, you ask this person a question, and again, let's say you rolled a 10, the AI rolls a 10, and so if you roll a 5, you get less information. If you roll a 10, you might get the right information, but if you roll a 20, you had a good conversation and it says, oh, they like you so much that they tell you the secret path, and it saves you time. Kind of, it's interesting, like, it can be used as well with, like, basically D&D, Dungeons and Dragons, or creating storylines. Um, like, um, the other thing I did that I've been really working on, I actually have a complete paper I wrote for it, is to use this type. Like, you could ideally code something out, and people would go through this type of mission, and it would create moral situations. And just by someone going through the story and answering the questions, at the end, you would get their personality type. Whether, no matter how basic it is, it's you're just trying to get someone's basic personality type through a story, essentially covertly. Could help you in a lot of ways in certain instances, or especially educational settings or political settings. Like, I don't know. There's some ideas there. I'm probably going to re-record this video. Got some congestion from the COVID, and yeah, I feel like I could probably do a much better job. But as you offer the emergency supplies, the stronghold, he says, his voice low and gravelly. It's a legend as old as the asteroids himself. They say it's hidden deep in the heart of the belt, protected by ancient traps and guardians, but those who find it are said to be rewarded with untold riches. He pauses, taking a swig from the canteen before continuing. Many have sought the stronghold, but few have returned. Most think it's just a myth. His words hang in the air, mingling with the faint hum of machinery. Do you wish to delve deeper into the legend of Stronghold? Yeah, I know I kind of skipped ahead there, but so, like, I ask the man drinking from the canteen, what's his name, and if he'll join me on the journey.
You approach the miner, who seems to be taking a moment's respite from the chaos around him. As you ask for his name, he looks up, a weary smile tugging at the corners of his lips. I'm Rennick, he says, his voice rough with fatigue. And
So
as
you
for
can just do
joining you on your
anything you want,
journey,
and it'll remember the story.
well, I've spent most of my life out here in the asteroid belt.
So, Rennick, by your side, you feel a renewed sense of confidence on your quest. Are you ready to set out with Rennick and continue your journey on the belt? Yeah. Me and Rennick jump in the spaceship and start heading out deeper to find the stronghold. It's hard to explain. I feel like I'm not showing its full capabilities. I have so many of these in here. There's so many super quests, and then there's super quests that you can use ASCII art, and then there's even which one? You're trying to just turn it into a fortune teller. Oh, the thing's still on. like here's another one. Let's see what this one is. Create a choose your own adventure. This is one I did for a friend. To potential, your journey begins in a quaint village. Explore the village. You know, same deal. You know, you can literally just follow it, and usually if you follow it, you'll complete the path. But a really great way to use it is if I mean, yeah, there's so many different ways. I'm gonna stop rambling now, but this one's in space. I mean, you can really tailor it, and it seems to do a pretty good job at remembering. Just for shits and giggles, you could say. Story about an AI that comes to life and helps me destroy. I spelled that wrong. Destroy the world. Let's see, sometimes it'll say, you can't do that. You awaken in a desolate wasteland surrounded by crumbling buildings and swirling clouds of dust. The remnants of a once thriving city stretch out before you, with twisted metal and broken concrete littering the landscape. The air is thick with an oppressive sense of decay, and a distant sound of machinery echoes through the ruins. What would you like to do? Search for supplies, explore the city, head towards the sound. Choose to head toward the sound. It feels like hours of wandering. It's actually a lot more fun if you get deep into one story. I'm just kind of doing this so you can get an idea. But when you get deep into a story and then there's like a callback to something, you're like, holy crap, I forgot about that. It is intriguing how deep the story can get. But yeah, it's a work in progress. Decide to sneak past the scavengers, prepare for a confrontation. But yeah, that's the general idea.